Okay, let's work on these problems. Now we have to do number 47. So here they say use the provided information to write the standard form of the equation of each hyperbola. Now we're doing hyperbolas now. So that means that we have to do either we have x minus h squared minus y minus k squared equals 1, and this is a squared, and this is b squared, or we have the other situation y minus k squared minus x minus h squared. This is 1, this is a, and this is b. So depending on situation, right? Okay, so those are our equations that we need. Let me make this bigger a little bit. And for now, I don't need this right now. So this is just like as a review. Okay, so let's do the problems. So here we need to basically complete the square, right? So we have to do here, I have to subtract negative 4x squared, add 56x, and subtract negative ay on both sides. So negative ay minus 4x squared plus 56x. So if we do that, we cancel this, we cancel that, we cancel that. So we have y squared minus ay minus 4x squared plus 56x, and this is equal to 244. Now, if I need to keep solving this, I'm gonna put the y's together with y's. So that means this is y squared minus ay. I need to complete the square here. So remember, when you're completing the square, this is always positive, right? So this is, now I have to do the GCF for the x terms. So this is gonna be negative 4 x squared, and this is gonna be 14, right? And then I have to complete the square here, and this is 244. Well, we have to find the c term. Remember, the formula is b over 2a squared equals c. That's that value here and that value here, right? We need to find that out. Well, if this is divisible by 2 and we square it, we get what we need, right? So if we divide this by 2, if this number, remember, this is written in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c, right? To find this c term, basically you divide this term by 2. So if this is divisible by 2, you just divide by 2 and you square it and you get your answer. So that's what I'm gonna do here. So because I assume that you know how to do that. So a divided by 2 is 4, 4 squared is 16, so this is 16, and 14 divided by 2 is 7, 7 squared is 49. So now because I made these numbers up, I need to add them in the other side as well. So this is plus 16, and then because this is 49, I will have to add 49 here, right? However, because you factor this negative 4, you need to multiply that 49 by also 4. So that's 196 if I'm not wrong. So this is negative 196. So this is negative 196. That's here 186. So so let's keep doing this. So now let's do a little shortcut for this for you know that we need this in terms of second power. So I'm gonna do so if you factor this really quick, well, the letter that I have here is y. The sign in the middle is negative, and what number square gives you 16? 4. That's it. Now what about here? What is the letter? We need this square. What's the letter? X. What's the sign in the middle? Negative. What number square give you 49? 7. Done. So this is what we need to simplify this version, right? So that means we have 48 plus 56. I believe that's 64, right? Let's double check. 4, that's 200, that's 48, 48 plus 16, that's 64. You divide by 64 both all sides, because you need on the right side, you need 1. So this is y minus 64 squared over 64, right? And this is minus x minus 7 squared over, well, this is going to be 16, and this is going to be 1. And that's the answer for this problem. Okay. Make sure that you know how to complete the square, but this is not difficult. This is pretty easy. Okay, next problem. Let me erase this part because then we get. Okay, next problem. The vertices, they give me the vertices. So you have to be careful here because the vertices are in the hyperbola. If you have a horizontal transverse axis, your C value here, it would be here, right? I'm sorry, not, this is the foci. The vertices are here. The vertices will be here. This will be one vertices and this will be the other one. Here, the foci will be here, right? And that's if it's a horizontal transverse axis, right? Um, so here they give me the vertices. So the vertices are these numbers. So these are fixed. So what's changing is the y component. So the hyperbola should be here in this form. In this, like this hyperbola should look like this. So we're changing the length. Remember, the hyperbola, the vertices are always a's, right? So that means that this is the value of 2. Yeah, like, I mean, they give you both vertices. So from here to here, they're telling you that length. So if you think about it, what is the length or what is the distance from 86 to 6? That's 12 units. So that means that 2a equals 12 units. So a equals 6. And that implies that a squared is 36, right? And now they give you the conjugate axis is 22 units long. So that means if this is the vertices, they give you the co-vertices, right? Sort of. I mean, it's not co-vertices, but that's what, I mean, that's the value of b basically. So what they telling you here is that 2b equals 22, so b equals 11, and that implies that b squared is 121. So now you have a, you have b, and you know that this is vertical, so we need y minus k square over a square plus x minus h square over b squared is equal to 1. So I need to find out the center, but that's easy. The center is just the midpoint of from the vertices, right? So this is not moving. The x values are not moving. These values are moving. So what is the midpoint between 86 and 6? Oh, that's 0. So that's my equation. So I need, this is h and k. So I need y minus 0, it's just 0 squared. A squared is 36. X minus h, so h is 1, x minus 1 squared, and b squared is 121, and this one is equal to 1, and you're done. That's the answer of this problem. So let's check in the like in my solution key if I'm right or wrong, because I have the solution key here in the website. Let's see, 48 xy squared over 36 minus x. I forgot, I missed the sign here. Thank you. So here is minus. Don't, because otherwise you will say it's a ellipse, right? And what is this thing? 48. Yeah, now it's all good. Now it's okay. Okay. Next problem. That's right. Here, let me erase a little bit this part. Okay. So now we have they give us the vertices and the end points of the conjugate axis. Okay. So we know the vertices are my a values, and the conjugate axis you can claim, or you can call them b's if you want. And I need to find out what's happening here. So the vertices are from 4. So if I find the midpoint, I can find my center. So let's find our center really quick. So the center is what's fixed. These two are fixed. So these are 4. And what's moving? These numbers are moving. So from from negative 14 to negative 4, that will be 10 units. So 5 units will be negative 9. So this is negative 9. From negative 9 units to the right of 5 units to the right of negative 9 is negative 4, and 5 units to the left of negative 9, that's negative 14. So that's the center. This is HK. So I found HK. I know the value of, well, we need to find out what's A. So A is basically 2A equals, well, this is 10, right? We said that before. So A is 5. That implies that A squared is 25. Now we need to find out what's B, right? So what's fixed? These numbers are fixed. Now what's changing? The x coordinate. So that means that this is b, 2b equals 6, and then that implies that b equals 3 and b squared is 9. So we have everything that we need. So the equation is, oh, we need to find out if it's vertical or horizontal transverse axis. So the vertices, so this is the vertices on the x coordinate are not moving, the y are moving. So that implies that this is vertical. So my equation that I need is y minus k, y minus k. What's wrong with this thing? Y minus k squared minus x minus h squared equals 1, equals 1. This is a, sorry about that, b squared, b squared. Let me erase this thing. Okay, so now we have what? Y plus 9 squared minus x minus 4 squared. This is 1. A squared is 25 and b squared is 9. So I'm done. So let's check if that's right. If you don't understand, please let me know. If I'm going too fast, please let me know too. Let's see. That was number 49. Let's see. 49 is y plus 9 squared over 25 minus, yeah, that's correct. Next number. Let's see. So let's erase this part on the top because then after that gets confusing. Okay, this one too. I don't need this right now. Okay, makes you confused. Okay, so again, they give us the vertices, so that's A's, right? And then the foci are my C's, right? And now I need to find out what's going on here. Okay, so I can find the center right away because they give us the vertices, right? So the vertices, this is fixed, so this is -4. What's changing? The y values, right? These one are changing, so the length, what's the midpoint between those two? The length is 8, so that must be at 8. So 8 is the 8, it should be the k coordinate, right? And now we need to find out what's a and what's b. So 2a equals, well, -4s are fixed. The distance from 4 to 12 is 8, right? So I'm talking about this just in case if you're confused. I'm talking about that 4 and the 12. So that's 8. So that means that if I divide by 2, I get 4. And that implies that this is a squared equals 16. Now I need to find out what's my C values. I can find out also right away. These are fixed. These are the ones that they're changing. So 2C, right? Because that's 2C equals 10, right? Because the distance from 3 to 13, the distance from 3 to 13 is 10. And that implies that C is 5 and C squared is 25. So we're like, we can find out what's B. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So this is 25. This is 16. You can do this in your head, but I'm just doing it for everybody if you don't understand. So this is b squared, right? So we have, now we have the center, and we need to find out if this is vertical or not. So this is vertical because, let me erase that. This is vertical because these guys, the y component is the one that is changing, right? So this is y minus k squared minus x minus h squared. This is equal to 1. This is a squared. This is b squared. So just plug it in. So y minus k, which is, this is hk. K is 8 squared minus x plus 4 squared. This is 1. A, what's A? A is 16 and B is 9. I'm done. This is the answer. Let's check. Let me see what's 50. That's correct. So we're good. Let's continue. So that was the answer. Let's do the next part. Let me erase that part here. Okay, so we're at 51. There's 62 problems, so I will stop at some points. Okay, so this is what vertices are. So these are my A's again. Okay, now I need to take care of this guy, right? So vertices. So the vertices are, okay, so this is fixed, right? So what's changing is these values, right? The y values. So 2a equals, the distance from 0 to -16 is 16. A equals 8. So I know that a squared is 64. Okay, so we there. Okay, so if we graph this picture, we know that the distance from 89, they're saying 89 and 0, so 89 and 0 is here. And the distance from 89 and 16. So 89 and 16 is around here, so let me put that in another color. So let's assume that 16 is around here. Let's do that in this color. Okay, so these are my vertices. And this is a what? This is a hyperbola, right? So hyperbola, these are my vertices, so I know already that this is the picture of this thing, right? So they say the rectangle, the perimeter, right, of this rectangle. So you know when you're doing hyperbolas, you have a rectangle, something like that. I'm not doing this perfect. I just want to show you the idea, okay? So this is let me fix that because that one was ugly, by the way. So that was here, right? And then this thing looks like that, and then we have something like this, and we have something like that, something like this, and something like that. Okay, assume that that's a square, that's a rectangle. Okay, so they say the perimeter of rectangle, right? The perimeter of a rectangle is 72. So area, you know, from geometry, area of rectangle is length times width, right? Oh, I'm sorry, perimeter. They're asking for perimeter. So perimeter is 2L plus 2W, okay? And they're saying that the perimeter is 72. So we can replace that. What you need to recall here is that we need to find, like they're saying here, we need to find out what's the, well, we know that the length for the A value, the length for the A value, which is the Y component, right? So let me, yeah, this part here, this is my A, right? Because this is the major transverse axis. So they're saying that that A is 16 units, right? And because that would be, this length is not A, this length is 2A, right? Because it's 2A plus A is 2A. So the perimeter will be this basically. So perimeter equals 2 times the length, which in this case is 2A, plus 2 and the width. Well, the width should be 2B, right? Because that's the minor axis. And that's what I need to find out. That's the reason they give you that, that thing. So this is 2 times B. Now, and the perimeter is 72. So you can replace that with 72 here. So let's solve for that. So this is 72 equals, well, you know what's A. A, I solved it already. That was 8. So this is 2 times 8 plus 52, right? So this is 72 equals to the 16. 16 times 2 is 32 plus 50. This is not 52. I said it's 52. It's 4B here, not 52. I don't know where I get 52 from. 4B. So this is 72. This is 16. This is 32. And this is 4B, right? So if you solve for that, you get 40. And this is equal 4B. So if you divide by 4, you get 10. So that means that B squared is 100. Let's double check my calculation just in case I don't make silly mistakes. 2 times 2A plus 2 times W is 2B. So this is 72. This is 2 times A, which is 8. And this is 4B. So this is 16. This is 32. That's 40. Yeah, that's right. So now I have B squared. I have A squared. I need to find the center and I'm done. So let's find the center here. So the center is the midpoint. So what's fixed? Really quick, we can tell what's fixed is -9. And what's changing? From 0 to -16, right? So what's the midpoint between those numbers? -8, right? So formula, vertical, y minus k squared minus x minus h squared equals to 1. This is a squared. This is b squared. Substituting these numbers, right? We get the equation that we need. So this is y minus, what's k? This is hk. Well, that will be plus 8 squared minus x minus minus, that's a plus 9 squared. This is 1. What's a and what's b? A is 64 and b equals 100. So this is the answer. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast or I'm all over the place. I'm trying to cover as many problems as possible in the shorter period of time so you guys don't get bored. Okay, so that was 51. So let's check the answer. So the answer for 51. That's right. 64, the Y, yeah, that's right. My friend is saying hi. Okay, let me say hi to him really quick. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so next number, 52. Okay, next problem. The vertices, again, these are A's. And the distance from the center to focus is 5. Okay. So that means that, so the distance from the center to, let's find out what's this, what is fixed and what's not fixed to find out what's the value of A, okay? So the value of A is, this is fixed. So the value of A, this guy is 8 units, right? So 2A equals 8 units. So A is 4, A squared is 16. So we're good with this part. And I need to find out what's the center. So the center should be the midpoint. So this is 2. The midpoint between those numbers is 4 units. So that should be 8. So we have HK. Now they're saying the distance from the center to focus. So let's find out what's fake. Like, so this is vertical. It's moving vertical, right? Because these values, let me put that in another color. These values are the one that they're moving. So from the center to the focus is 5 units, right? So we said from the center to the focus, they're moving 5 units. That implies that C, okay, so center it should be 5, right? I mean, if this is the focus, should be 5. Let's do that really quick so we can clarify our doubts. So this is 2, and this is 8, and that point is here, right? That's the center. And they're saying distance from the center to focus is, so this is my center to focus is 5 units. So I'm gonna end it up at 3, right? But anyway, this is my focus, the location of it, right? So I don't need to worry about that. I just need, like, I need to, what is the distance from here to here? And this is C. So that's 5. That implies that C squared is 25. Now we need to find out what's, we have we have everything, right? I know we need to find out what's B. So C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So you can tell that that's 5, 4, that should be 3, right? So this is 25, this is 16, I mean 9 in this case. The square is 9 squared, right? So B is 9 squared. So write the equation. We know that this is vertical, right? So this is Y minus K squared minus X minus H squared equals to 1. This is A, this is B. Just change the values. So the answer for this problem is, let's put that here, Y minus K 8 squared minus X minus 2 squared equals to 1. And what's A and what's B? 16. And what's B is B. We just found it. It's 9. That's the answer. Okay, so that's the next problem. I hope you understand. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. So let's see what's the answer for this problem. That was number 52. 52, 52. 52 is 52. Yeah, that's correct. Next number. Okay, let's erase this stuff. Okay, next number, right? So this one, vertices. Again, these are A's right away. So let's find out the center. So the center, what's fixed? These values, right? The X's are fixed, or in this case, the H. Now what's changing? The Y values, right? So this is changing. So the distance from that to that is 16 units. So that this must be 8. Let's put in the same color because then after that you get confused. So this is 8. This is HK. Now I need to figure it out what's the, if this is vertical or horizontal, whatever that is. But I already know that this is vertical, right? Because the only thing that is moving vertical is these guys. So that implies that this is a vertical transverse axis. So if it's vertical transverse axis, I have this picture. Yes. So this is my vertical transverse axis. So if this is a vertical transverse axis, remember this is A. And if you're doing for that, because they give you the asymptotes here, you're doing rise over run, right? Rise over run. So that will be, we're going up A units and we're going B units to the left. Okay. So we have the center. We need to find out what's my B value, right? So my A value should be what? Well, it's 16 units, right? So the midpoint, actually, like this is 2A, right? So 2A, I'm sorry, 2A equals 16. So A equals to 8. So that implies that A squared is 64. Now I need to find out what's B. And since we're saying that this is rise over run, then your A should be, let's see, your A, this is rise, your equation should be y equals plus or minus, since you're doing rise, because this is vertical, rise over run, and x minus h plus some constant k, right? So this should be your A value. So your A value, why there's a contradiction here. Let's see what I did. So that's 5. I'm gonna stop this video here and I'm gonna, because I don't want to waste the time. So I'm gonna do another video with this part, okay? Just give me, I will post it like within like the next 15 minutes. Have a nice day.